Hey everybody, this is Lynn from A Bit of Birdsong. For the third video in the series that I'm working on, we're going to be using a face that we've drawn or painted. Or for that journal spread, you can use the one I did, or you can choose your own. But I want to show you something. I'm going to take this, this is the top to a jar that I have. It's just a simple circle shape. And I'm going to take a regular black drawing pencil and just draw around this shape to give us a circle to work with. Drawing a face can seem like something impossible, and everybody has their own style. Some people are really good at it and make their living with all of these beautiful little enticing faces. I'm not that good, and it's very intimidating to see art that is it just blows you away. It makes, at least for me, it used to make me feel like I can't do that. But to do a simple face is not, it's not super hard. There are some little rules that help out. After you draw your circle, this is what I'm doing. And if you have a light colored acrylic paint, like what is considered a flesh tone, but it's always puzzled me that it's not the color of everyone's flesh, we are going to paint this entire circle. I really need to get some more of this paint, and it's getting kind of lumpy. I've mentioned before that's one of my complaints about the cheaper paint. Not really lumpy even, but just kind of stringy, and I don't like that. So let's color the circle with the paint color of choice. And then we're going to put a little bit of this vanilla in to tone it down just a little bit. I don't like it to be too, it almost looks orange. So let's tone it down a little bit. While that's drying, I want to show you the other things that I'm going to be using for this. I'm going to use a black watercolor pencil and a red watercolor pencil, and these paints that we've already pulled out, a variety of paint brushes. And for mine, I'm going to use some Mod Podge and some little torn bits of paper from a dictionary page. Dip the end of your watercolor pencil, the black one, in some water, and then just draw a little line here so that you know where you're going to make the headscarf. Frida is known for her eyebrows, so that is going to be, that's going to tell everybody this is Frida that you're doing. But to start with, a lot of times it's easy to draw the eyes too high in the face. They're really further down in the face than you would think, and it gives a really sweet face to draw the eyes kind of far apart. So do your oval shapes, just put the center in, and you can see our acrylic paint is still a little bit wet. I'm going to wet my pencil a little bit more and get some of the water off, and do just a little half circle for the nose, and then we're going to do a little mouth. I really like using a watercolor pencil in wet acrylic paint. So now that we have this, let's do the eyebrows. The eyebrows, especially even in her self-portraits, she brought them almost together to the center of her face. And we're going to darken up that top line of her eyes a bit and give the effect of some eyelashes just like that. Put a little darkness over her eyes and maybe beside her nose. And she even had a bit of a bit of hair over her top lip. I think she was very pretty. She had a she didn't have a dainty look by any means. She was very handsome. So for the headscarf, we're just going to tear some pieces of paper. If you can get some in a circle shape, it might make it easier to just go ahead and fill in that area where the scarf is going to be without a lot of cutting. And don't worry about going outside of the circle, because we're going to cut that circle out completely. And I'm going to go ahead and add a layer of Mod Podge right there. Again, I'm really bad about not being careful with brushes. I'm careful, but not as careful as artists who spend a lot of money for their brushes. So let's start filling in this where the headscarf is. She did wear scarves and beautiful garments. Earlier in her life, she had worn men's clothing to cover up where one leg was shorter than the other. She wore a lot of pants. And then later on in life, especially after one of her marriages, I believe, she started wearing more of the really beautiful long dresses with a lot of layers and colors. So I think that's good. We're just doing this for layering. We want those words to show through our layer of tissue paper, which I forgot to mention in our list of things you'll need. Let's just take some bright purple tissue paper, and we're going to put down more Mod Podge, and we are going to cover this in tissue paper. It doesn't have to be completely flat or perfect, because a scarf is not going to be that way. A scarf, of course, is fabric, which is going to have some natural creases and folds. So let's put that on there, that on there. I will get that to lay down a little more. There we go. Now let's go back to her face. Acrylic paint dries really quickly. Let's take the black watercolor pencil again, darken that up a little bit, and maybe add a little more darkness above the eyes. And let's push this scarf back some. And make the eyebrows more prominent. A couple of the things that really will bring a face to life are little touches of white. Get a tiny, tiny brush and put a little speck of white in each eye. Now we're going to take our red pencil, dip it in some water, and I need more water. Fill in the lips. If you get too much water, just dab it away. This doesn't have to be perfect. In fact, I think sometimes the more perfect you try to make things, the more unnatural they will seem. Put some pink in each cheek, and then come back with sort of a medium small brush and some water and spread that out. Now we're going to use the paintbrush again and some white paint, and just put a little bit to bring some light to her nose, maybe a little bit on her cheeks, and a little bit on her forehead, and a little bit on the lips. And there is our Frida. Wasn't that easy? Just follow the simple steps of not being too careful. The eyebrows are what are going to make this really be a trademark Frida Kahlo drawing. And bring the eyes down almost to the center of the face. So I'm going to cut this out, and it'll be ready to use for the remainder of the art project that we're doing. You can kind of see the circle through the tissue paper, which is nice. Now on the first Frida that I did, you'll notice that I put a couple of little ears. That's not a big deal. You could do that at this stage of things, or you can do it once you get her on the page. Our little Frida Kahlos are ready to use. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.